So, good morning, everyone. So, my topic for today is about studying young children. So, studying young children can help us better to understand how they learn and develop, as well as identify potential challenges or risk factors that may impact their development. So, this knowledge can be used to develop effective interventions and strategies to support children's growth and learning. And also, studying young children is essential for advancing our understanding of human development and providing the best possible support of children's learning and well-being. So next is there are different approaches to studying young children. So number one is developmental psychology, number two is education, three is neuroscience. So researchers in this field study various aspects of children's development such as cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development. Next is why it is important to study young children. So, the most important thing to consider when studying young children is their individual learning style, as every child is unique and responds to different approaches. So, for example, some children may be visual learners, while others may prefer a more tactile approach. And it is also important to remember that young children need to be given time to process new information and to practice their new skills, as the speed of their learning can vary greatly. So next is studying young children is important for several reasons. So number one is understanding development. So studying young children can provide insight into how they develop physically, cognitively, emotionally, and socially. So this understanding can inform parents, caregivers, educators, and policymakers in creating environments and experiences that support healthy development. Next is early identification and intervention. So, studying young children can help identify development delays or disorders early on, allowing for early intervention and support. So, early intervention can significantly improve outcomes for children with developmental delays or disorders. So next is improving educational practices. So studying young children can inform that the development of effective educational practices for early childhood education. So this can help ensure that young children receive a high quality education that is developmentally appropriate and supports their growth and learning. Next is supporting parents and caregivers. So studying young children can provide valuable information for parents and caregivers on how to support their child's development. So, this can include information on parenting practices, child rearing techniques, and creating supportive home environment. Lastly is advancing knowledge. So, studying young children can contribute to the advancement of scientific knowledge on childhood development. So, this can inform research and policy and ultimately improve outcomes for children and families. So next is key topics that are studied in research on young children. So number one is language development, socialization, cognitive development, physical growth and development, and emotional regulation. So understanding how these different aspects of development interact and influence one another, it is crucial to gaining comprehensive understanding of how children grow and change over time. Next is here are some more example of scenarios where studying young children can be beneficial. So assessing development milestones. So researchers may be observe and track developmental milestones in young children. So to understand how they develop physically, cognitively, emotionally, and socially. So this can help identify patterns in development and potential developmental delays or disorders. So next is evaluating educational programs. So educators and researchers may study the effectiveness of educational programs for young children. such as preschool or kindergarten programs to understand how they impact the child development and learning outcomes. So next is investigating the impact of adverse experiences. So researchers may study the impact of adverse experiences on young children, so such as exposure to violence, neglect, or poverty, to understand how these experiences can impact their environment. So next, examining the role of genetics. So researchers may study young children to understand the role of genetics in their development. So for example, they may study twins to understand how genetics impact development and behavior. So lastly is understanding cultural differences. So researchers may study young children from different cultural backgrounds. So to understand how cultural differences can impact child development and how to create culturally responsive environments that support their growth and well-being. That's all. Thank you.